Part 3 about why we can't have nice things. There's plenty of wonderful ideas that actually solve your problems, but you get in the way. And so this is the third main way that you stop good things from happening. Okay? And this is very common on all sides. It's called the us versus them mentality. So I want to break down some of the impacts of how the us them mentality destroys our ability to actually solve problems. Because it's not just that having an us them mentality is a problem. You got to understand the method by which it prevents solutions. So I'm hardcore environmentalist, and you won't see me wearing Birkenstocks. Because I understand that if you actually do want to solve the problems that we have with the environment, it's not just climate change. There's so many. There are so many issues with what we're doing in the environment. If you actually want to solve them, you have to find a solution that actually does work. Is that a weird idea? You have to find a solution that actually does work for reals. But that's not what most environmentalists are interested in. Most of the people in the environmental movement, most of the people I talk to who say they're in favor of helping the environment and cleaning up the horrible things that we've done, they want to pick their favorite option, which doesn't actually work. And then they use that fervor. They say they're so fervent for that one option and they refuse to consider any others, that means they should be dictator and use political methods to impose that solution on everyone who disagrees with the one favorite option they have. It's not that people disagree with helping the environment, it's that they disagree with the option that these environmentalists, pseudo-environmentalists, insist upon. There are other options that these other people wouldn't disagree with. There's other options we could do that other people would be happy to help with. But the pseudo-environmentalists say, no, you have to do our option, which wouldn't even work. And our fervor is why we get to be dictators and impose them on everyone else. So it's like if you're insisting that people stop eating meat, for example. This is a classic MAGA hat talking point. But it has some weight because there are people within the environmental movement who want to make it as hard as possible for someone to enjoy meat. And they don't realize, because they're arrogant and dictatorial, that creates opposition, which destroys our ability to actually get solutions done. They are an impediment to environmentalism. But they're so fervent that they think they should get to impose their solution on everyone else. And that alienates everyone else. Got to let you in on some data here. Only a small portion of the world can be used for farming. And then the other regions which are not as good for farming but are still fertile are generally pasture. And if we stopped raising meat, we wouldn't suddenly just have all that land for farming, because it's not suitable for farming. It's only suitable for pasture. So having pasture land adds to the total food supply. And if we got rid of that pasture land, we would have to do more intensive farming in the regions that are currently still wild or would be damaged by more intensive farming. And so that's not a real solution. But they never bother to learn the facts that would show them that they're wrong. They're just so fervent that they want to impose using political will upon everyone else, which creates opposition, which prevents real solutions from happening. And they're so insistent that their favorite idea has to be the only one we consider that this segment of the environmental movement silences all other options. So I keep trying to say to these pseudo-environmentalists, it is insane that you have managed to alienate the people from your movement who are your most natural allies. The people who are most directly impacted by the degradation and pollution of the environment are farmers, ranchers, and loggers. How did you manage to alienate them and get them to hate you? Because that's your fault. And until you start listening to their concerns and their needs so that you can find a solution that works for everyone, you should be shot down by them. You need to learn humility enough to have compassion for what other people are struggling with. Just commanding them to stop using oil, do you understand that would lead to a global food crisis and hundreds of millions of people would die? And there'd be bloody revolutions in numerous countries and massive waves of refugees? But you'll be safe in Berkeley. You'll be fine. You can keep wearing your Birkenstocks. They don't have real solutions. I work to create solutions and I give them away for free that meet the concerns on both sides. And they don't want to hear it. The pseudo-environmentalists don't want to hear it because they are so enamored of their dumb solution, even when it creates opposition that halts all progress. And that's why we can't have nice things.